Hello, everyone. Come on in. It is time for the Emerge Now Unstuck and Unstoppable Challenge, day 13. Come on in. I'm just going to wait for a moment to allow you to just gather in. What a wonderful day. I'm alive. I'm breathing. Life is good. There's so many people who did not wake up today. There's so many people who are fighting for their lives, fighting for their families. There are so many people, I'm really continuing to lift up the firefighters today and their families. I tell you, I really thank them for their sacrifice. I do. When I turn on the news, my heart becomes a little heavy when I look at them. So listen, let's go ahead and get started. As you know, today is day 13 of the Emerge Now Unstuck and Unstoppable Challenge. My name is Cheryl Barrett. I am your speaker, your coach, your friend. I am here to take you on a journey to where you emerge from a place of being stuck to a place of going where you are unstuck and unstoppable. A place where you are eradicating and shattering those self sabotaging beliefs. You're releasing untapped potential and you are experiencing higher levels or greater levels of self confidence necessary for you to birth the plans and the dreams that you have inside of you, that the world is needing right now for you. Right? To birth, to become. Your voice is necessary. You are necessary. So, welcome again. I want you to go ahead now, grab that journal. You know, we like to write things down. When you write it down, it tends to stick with us a little bit more. So get your journal and get your pen. And then I'm asking that you type in the chat, the comment section for me when I say something that is an aha moment for you. If you agree with me, if there is something that you want to contribute to the conversation, I ask that you just type it in the comment section so we can have a two-way conversation, not just me, but both of us engaging so that we can emerge unstuck and unstoppable. Yesterday, our conversation stemmed around self-sabotage. How do you release self-sabotage? And we had 2 days discussing self-sabotage. If you missed it, I implore you to go back and catch the previous 2 days. Today, what we're going to discuss is the frustrations of life. How many of you have experienced the frustrations of life? How many of you at some point in your life have become dissatisfied or come to the place where you're like, is this it? Or you are to the place where you have no breath to breathe because you've poured everything out. How many of you that are listening to my voice today are at the place where perhaps you think you're too old or you're too young or you missed your time? It's not too late. It's not too late. Today, we're going to learn how to turn those frustrations into satisfaction. Our frustrations into satisfaction. Good afternoon. I'm not sure. I guess it's good evening where you are, Fabio. I am so glad that you decided to join me. Hey, I see that there are more people who are joining me and I can't see everyone, but what would help me? Just type in the comment section, say hello. Let me know that you're here. That way I know who I'm talking to because I want us to have this conversation together. I love having the conversations that we get to have. I love the fact that we get a chance to be transparent and that we get a chance to dive in a little bit deeper, covering different subject matters that I believe that sometimes people think that they're alone, that they're the only one who have a situation. But I'm here to tell you, you are not the only one who's ever felt disappointment, frustration, or dissatisfaction in your life. Hey, Yvette, I'm glad that you're joining me. Yvette, I'm glad that you are with me on the road traveling and listening. I am honored. I'm honored. So when we talk about the frustrations, the one thing that I thought about, what other people don't have that you have, is that we have the ability and the knowledge to know that we can change our reality. We just have to do a little tweaking, a little changing, we have to flow, we have to go in and out. But we know that where we are right now, this state of this place where we are is not the end. This state where we are is just the beginning. And as long as we have breath in our body, I am just so grateful that we're able to move forward and accomplish what is before us. It is because of the hiccups that I've experienced in my life that I wanted to share about the frustrations, because what I noticed is when I became frustrated, sometimes depression tried to jump on board too. When I became frustrated with life, then I realized that that moment, that emotion, what I was feeling was something that was trying to hinder me, that was trying to keep me stuck from my movement, stuck from getting into action. Because then you can have, I think we tend to say, oh, well, what's the use? Why should we? You know, there was a season where I had to just look at myself and continue to tweak, continue to change, continue to make those minor adjustments that are necessary for me to propel. What I noticed was that a season, because I've had several. How many have had some seasons in their life? Cynthia, what about you? Lavette, Yvette, and Monette, have you guys had seasons in your life where you felt frustrated? Where you felt like, man, there should be more, or man, I haven't carved out time for myself. So see, it was in those moments where yes, frustration, it keeps us stuck from action. When I was there, that season, sometimes it lasted a month, sometimes it was a year, sometimes it was years, and it felt like a drought. And that was one of the most frustrating things that I have experienced is I'm a person of action. I'm a person that's always going. I have my goals set. And when I don't hear, when I'm not clear, or when I am so spent from pouring from my pot into everybody else's cup that I can't breathe. I couldn't breathe. I had a season like that. You know, um, I was a mother. I wanted to make sure that my teenagers, they were going to school, that they were learning, they were in extracurricular activities, that they were on board with college. You know, mother, as a grandmother, making sure that my grandbabies were fine. As a wife, right? We have our roles as a spouse, what we think is our role as a spouse. So wanting to make sure that I had the happiest life at home, and then we had our own business. So then we were working on our business, and my mom, I left that out. My mom was ill. So every day I was caring for my mom, who was bedridden or wheelchair ridden at that time, and just making sure that she had a level of joy. So I found myself, I want my children to be filled with joy. I want my husband to be filled with joy. I want my mom to be filled with joy. I wanted to be filled with joy too. But you know what happened? I didn't leave any room for myself. I didn't practice self care. I didn't practice pouring into my own cup, refueling my own tank, just like our bodies need fuel. You know, our minds need fuel. We need rest. We need to pour into ourselves the substance that is necessary for us to go forward and achieve where we're supposed to be. And yes, it could be overwhelming. Yes, we are there. One of the things that I believe is that sometimes when we become to the place of overwhelm, the place of frustration, the place of dissatisfaction, then we just say, sometimes we can throw up our hands and say, what's the use? What's the use? Or sometimes you want to go forward, but you don't have any energy. So that's what we're talking about today. We want to have the yes, I can. Yes, we're moving forward. Yes, let's have the conversations with ourselves. Let's address the elephant in the room that sometimes life isn't what we planned, and that we aren't just sitting on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the lowest and 10 being the best, that we're always on a 10. You know how I know you're not alone? Because I was reading different articles. I listen to people as a coach, as a pastor, as a woman, as a mother, as a wife. I listen to people. And there was a study in the Associated Press that said that only 14% of the people said that they were very satisfied. What about that? Only 14% of Americans said that they were truly satisfied. They were hitting that level 9 and 10. They had the part of the study said that most of the people, especially now, it went from 23% to 50% of people who are feeling a sense of dissatisfaction that's related to loneliness, especially given this whole pandemic that we're experiencing. People are having greater levels of dissatisfaction, overwhelm, frustration. What I want you to do is I want you to assess yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, not satisfied at all, to 10 being very satisfied. Where do you fall on the scale? Right now, where do you fall on the scale? See, through all the seasons, because we know there's a season for everything, but in this season, where are you falling on the scale? What is your level of satisfaction? Are you at a 10? Or are you at a 5? Or are you at like near a 2? Doesn't matter, because you're here on this challenge. This is the Emerge Now Unstuck and Unstoppable challenge. Listen, there's going to be seasons of highs, there are going to be seasons of lows, but I'm telling you, on this journey, what we're going to do is we're going to keep moving forward. Because what happens, and this is the way we're going to turn around that frustration, that overwhelm, that dissatisfaction, we're going to use that to fuel our fire. We're going to use that to tweak and to just make the minor adjustments so that we can use what is trying to hold us back to propel us to our future. What we're going to do when we're in those places of dissatisfaction or overwhelm or frustration, what we're going to do is let's just stop for a minute and ask ourselves, where do we want to be? That's the first thing, because when you ask yourself a question, your mind is forced to come up with an answer. If you're not satisfied right now, where is it that you want to be? What type of legacy do you want to leave, excuse me. And what kind of life do you want to live? Those are the things. So if you're not at a 10, then let's do a little tweaking. Let's do a little changing. Let's do a little minor adjustment so that we can propel into the future. Let's use that what was supposed to keep us down to just use as the fuel to say, yes, I can go forward. Yes, I can do more. When I was pouring out of my cup into the saucers of everyone else, what I had to do is I had to stop and assess, where am I? What is my ultimate goal? My ultimate goal is to have an awesome family, to make sure that my children were fine, and that I was birthing what I needed to birth. In the midst, what happened is I got 2 out of the 3, but I didn't completely have the 3. And I thought that I had lost, or it was too late for my dreams. How about you guys? Have you ever thought about that? If you maybe lost your dream, maybe it was too late, but it's not. It just may look different. It may feel a little different. You know, I see one person, yes, you said right now a level 7. Yes, you can go forward. Yes, you know what? I get it. I get it. We are moving. Some are in different levels. But the one thing I know as it relates to overwhelm is that we're always going to be going into some type of situation. We're going to be in the middle of a situation, or we're coming out of it. But today we're coming out of it. And the first step is to recognize, to acknowledge where you are. So let's talk about overcoming. How do we overcome the frustrations of life? How do we turn frustration into success? How do we move forward and propel? How do we emerge where we have our ta-da, like I am here moment to life, to your world, to your family, to your children, to those that you have been created to speak into? See, Frustration and dissatisfaction, what we have to do, the first thing that I have on here is that you have to be at such a level of dissatisfaction that you just can't take it anymore. What happens, the problem is that people have expectations, and when their expectations haven't been met, then they experience frustration. They experience an overwhelm. They experience a dissatisfaction in life. But how about we did a few changes? How about we did a little tweaking? And how about let's look at the recipe that we put together for life. Let's look at it, how much we've been placing inside, and see what do we need to take out, or what more do we need to pour into. Are you taking care of yourself? See, when you are dissatisfied and then it starts to snowball and your emotions begin to twirl, and maybe you experience health issues, emotional issues, dissatisfaction could even turn into financial issues. When you have all of that and it's overwhelming, then you have to come to a place where you want to do something about it. There was a saying that there was this dog, you guys might have heard the story. There was this dog that was laying over on the side and he kept whimpering, mm. And everybody was looking, why is that dog whimpering? Mm, mm. And then the old man who was rocking in the chair, he said, don't worry about that old dog, just lying on a nail. And they go, oh my God, lying on a nail. Why doesn't that dog get up off of that nail? Why does it, if the nail is hurting him, why doesn't he get up? And the old man, he just kept rocking. He said, well, when that nail hurts enough, that's when he'll get up. That's when he'll move. And that is what I have found in my life and in the life of others that I coach. When the frustration of life becomes to be so unbearable that you find it necessary to make that change, you will get up off of that nail. You will say, you know what, something has to stop, and it has to stop now. How many of you are at that place now? Let's turn our frustration into our fuel. Let's take the time to stop and really analyze what's going on in our mind. And then we have to begin to speak to that frustration. Speak to yourself. You know, there were so many times when I was feeling overwhelmed, I had to speak to myself. Girl, get up. I would give myself, this is my little secret. I'm letting us in on my secret. I gave myself, 5 or 10 minutes to have my little pity party. Girl, go ahead and cry. Go ahead and wipe your nose. Go ahead and just say, why me, and everything else I can think of. And then I had to put my shoulders back, put my chin up, hold my head up high because I still had breath in my body and my mind was still clicking right. I just had to remove the distractions, and I had to, I didn't say anything about masturbation. I said the situation. I had to get my situation together to move forward, to become what God has called me to become, to go forward, to make the changes, to say enough is enough, to move forward. My expectations, I might have said that. Let me make sure I enunciate expectations. So it are in alignment. I'm using my fuel to move me forward, to come out of the dissatisfaction. I'm using my frustration to get into action, saying it's enough. See, I'm letting the pain, that nail that I was lying on, I allowed that to move me. The nail that you're lying on, are you allowing it to move you? Is it hurting you enough? So if it is, let's do a little tweaking. Let's do a little movement. You are not alone. See, what happens is we want to feel, when you're by yourself and you keep that elephant, you don't expose the elephant in the room, you think you're the only one. And you think that why, then it snowballs with our emotions. But when we realize that we're not alone, matter of fact, if you believe that you have experienced that before, then what I want you to do is I want you to type in there that you are not alone, because somebody else may be listening. They may be in this chat now. They may come into the chat with the replay. But what I want you to do is to make sure that people know that they're not alone, that they can come out of feeling overwhelmed, that they can recreate their now, that they can change their state of happiness and joy right now to become who they're supposed to become. We're waiting on your voice. We're waiting on what it is that you have to birth. We're waiting on, yes, Yvette, we are not alone. Yvette, thank you for putting that in there because I want you to know that you are necessary and that you are enough. As we emerge, remember, emerge is to come forward, to bring forth, to come into the light, to shine, to have that aha, to da moment. That's what we want. Unstuck and unstoppable. Today, we've made a decision, and that's the first step to having life satisfaction. Thank you, Lavette. Is to say, I'm acknowledging it. I'm going to get into action and I'm going to do something about it. It's not an either or, it's an and. You can still pour into your children. You can still pour into your family life. You can still pour into your other ministries, your businesses, or whatever it is that you have. And then let's put an and on there. Birth the dreams that you have inside of you. People are waiting on your voice. People are waiting on you to birth your dreams and your plans. People are waiting on you to be transparent, to share that they are not alone, and to walk out this journey. Let's do it arm in arm, as I always say, linked up, doing this journey together. Life is good. We're moving forward, but it's so much better when we walk this life out together. Let's emerge now, unstuck and unstoppable. We won't let any mindset, any frustration, any setbacks or setups to hinder us, but we are moving forward. We are never alone. Even if we feel alone because we have lost someone, yeah, I get that. I get that. And it can be a challenge, but I am so grateful that we are able to share our pain, that we're able to share our joys, and we're able to share the truth about life so we can set other people free so we can walk in our freedom. Yes. Let's make tomorrow, let's make today, let's emerge now the rest of our life. Let's start now. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on day 14 of Emerge Now, Unstuck and Unstoppable 30-day challenge, going from now until the end of September. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And I love you guys and thank you for being present and being on this journey with me. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Yvette. Thank you. I see that we have some new people on here. Akpokio, I am so glad. Nina, thank you for joining today. I appreciate you. Cowboy, you are in the house today. Yes, yes, yes. Walking out this life together. Walking it out together. Monette, thank you for joining. And I hope that I have everybody. I will see you tomorrow.